What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Masson. Another live from Fayettenam Friday night. Of course, we got this nasty North Carolina weather, like always. Never makes its mind up. Rain all week, hot, muggy, humid, all that bad stuff. So last night we did an interview with Lord Digger. Y'all might know him from with Master Ace and INC, rapper producer from the '90s, and still doing his thing. So go check out that interview. Tonight's guest was runner up, I think, a couple weeks ago for Song of the Day on the music reviews, but I still wanted to interview this cat. Really like his catalog from what I heard. Really love his voice, love his choice of production. He's from Boston, Massachusetts, which is a area that probably gets overlooked for their contribution in hip hop. Let's bring on the one and only JFliz. Jay, how you doing, man?
What's good, Paul? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. You got runner up the song of the day the last week. I think it was last week or the week before, and I was like, I still want to interview this guy. Normally, I interview the song of the days, but I like what
Yeah,
you had, man. I like what you had.
no doubt. I appreciate it.
So, you sent me over the bio. I'm gonna start with some questions from that.
Yeah.
So it says the musical journey began in the childhood, influenced by your father's passion for classic rock and blues. So, what was some of the music that you were hearing at that time?
A lot of Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Okay.
Hendrix, B.B. King, blues like Gary Moore. I listened to a lot as a kid. So that's pretty much all I heard in my house for the first 10 years of my life, and I kind of caught on to hip hop, on my own, and that's I started to switch over, listening to more of that. But my young years, that's all I listened to, and I still listen to it a lot nowadays. But that was kind of the foundation and how I kind of fell in love with music.
Yeah, I started out with rock too. I did an interview for a guy today that said he started out with rock as well. And then, as soon as he heard that first hip hop song, for
Hmm.
him, he was just that was it. He was like, I love you, rock, but you left behind a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's get into this. I saw Enter the Wu Tang, 36 Chambers, and Illmatic. Those were specific albums you had in there. How important are those two albums to you?
I mean, there were, a couple of the first that I stumbled across. I mean, I remember going to the store as a kid and with my mom and her walking around the store and, shopping for whatever. And I was stealing tapes, and I stole Illmatic, 36 Chambers. Those were like two big ones. I remember jacking those tapes and just listening to those nonstop. Obviously being from Boston, like it was a lot of East Coast. I was listening to Biggie, Woo, Mobb Deep, um, all that sort of stuff. So like I said, those two have always kind of stood out. Um, and obviously I've listened to a million other artists and projects and records over the years, but those first days and months and years of really diving into hip hop, it was kind of those early '90s, and those were a couple of the first records that I heard.
And you say you were a teenager at the time?
Nah, I was born in '85,
Okay.
so I was like I was probably like 10.
10.
Figure
Okay, you
what now?
went in the teenager. You know what's crazy about that though? I think it's common. You still there?
You're cutting out on me a little
Can you hear
bit.
me?
I can
I
hear
can't
you
hear you.
now. It's cutting in and
Okay,
out.
okay. Yeah, connection must be going out.
There we
Okay, yeah,
go.
I
You're
was just
good
saying.
now.
I think it's common with like younger music fans always end up stealing their music because you ain't got a job to buy it at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of a punk ass kid, and I was just doing dumb shit to do dumb shit when I was young, And after tapes, when I got a little older, then I was at Best Buy and I was stealing CDs when that was the thing. So I was always just kind of a punk ass kid. Unfortunately, I turned out all right, but yeah, when I was young, I got into trouble.
So, what was the actual first hip hop album that you bought?
Oh man, I don't know that I bought. I honestly, I honestly don't remember. I do remember a Christmas one year. Um, I asked for Bone Thugs and Harmony. Um, I think I said I didn't buy it. My parents bought it, but I think that might have been the first record that was actually purchased and put in my hands. Um, I'm pretty sure that was one. There might have been another CD that same year. There might have been a Cypress Hill album that year. My
That's
memory's
a good
terrible,
choice.
but I do remember Bone Thugs specifically being one of the first as well. So I said I listened to a lot of East Coast, but I listened to West Coast too. I was kind of all over the place. Once I dove in, I was just listening to anything and everything.
So, your regular voice doesn't sound as gritty as your rap voice. How
No,
did
it
you
does
just
not.
how did you discover your rap voice?
So that when you listen to my earlier stuff, I sound more like this.
Okay.
Um, at one point, I was a front man for a band called North of Boston, which it was all live instruments. So partially, a lot of it was coming from that because performing over live instruments,
Mhm.
you got to be loud as all hell. So I was
Yeah.
screaming half the time when I was rhyming. So like that was part of it, and then the other part was when my father got diagnosed and eventually passed away from lung cancer.
Man, sorry to
Um,
hear that.
Thank you. A big. I had taken a couple of years off of music, and I came back and I started writing this project called In Light of Darkness while he was going through chemo and all this stuff,
Mhm.
and just the anger and all that shit that was kind of going through me. It came out on the mic in that kind of voice that you hear now,
Yeah.
and I kind of just dug how it sounded, and a lot of people have always kind of enjoyed it as well, for whatever reason. So I kind of just stuck with it. Um, a lot of times I dabble, thinking like maybe I should ease off it a little bit. And some joints I do, like on this new project, like you've heard a couple of the joints, like it won't be quite as heavy, but like if there's a heavy, grimy, gritty beat, I kind of
Yeah.
really lay it on thicker. Um, and then if it's a more mellow, smooth sort of joint, I kind of tone it down a little bit. But yeah, my MC voice, when I'm on the mic, is definitely significantly grittier than what you hear when I normally just talk and shooting the shit.
Yeah, when I think of it, I almost think of like Vinny Paz.
Yeah, and I was a big JMT fan. I mean, I still am, um, but that's probably partially some of the influence. I
Mm.
wouldn't say entirely. Like it kind of did naturally just happen. But I will say I have been a huge JMT fan for a long time. I mean, being from Boston, I grew up on Acrobatic and Mr. Lift and Virtuoso and Esoteric, and that kind of spiraled into finding Vinny Paz, and it turned into Army of the Pharaohs and the whole nine.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of listened to that stuff too. So like I said, there's probably some Vinny in there, because I've listened to him for so long, but a lot of it was kind of just a couple different elements and things that happened to me that kind of all molded that voice you kind of hear on record.
And it's good to have a unique voice. There's a guy, from your hometown that said it's mostly the voice that gets you up, mostly the voice that makes you buck. A lot of rapper got flavor and some got skills, but if you ain't got the voice, then you needs to chill.
There you go.
Rest in peace, the guru. So
Yes,
I
sir.
like the voice. I like the voice. Don't change it up, man. I wouldn't change it up.
That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you.
So what was the moment you said, "Hey, this is what I want to do. I want to rap." Because we all start out listening to music, and then at some point you get to the point where, oh, what, I can do this too.
Yeah, I mean, I was always like an artsy. I was into to writing and drawing and all that stuff. It's all I've always kind of just been creative. So like the first time I started writing like actual lyrics and songs was like third grade.
Okay.
Uh, first time I performed on stage was 5th grade, at like our, I don't know, graduation, whatever you want to call it, as a young kid. And I had written a song with like the music teacher, and I actually performed it. Um, Again, that was just kind of, little kid stuff, but like through middle school, high school, I was always writing. In high school, me and my boy, who's a super dope producer, Vinyl Villain, we used to be, cutting class all the time, and we'd go to his house and spin records and just freestyle and, having ciphers, at my parents' house and in my basement, just like always, just doing the typical kid stuff. Um, and then it was like 2012 when I dropped my first like actual studio album, All From Nothing, which he predominantly produced, and that was kind of when I took it the most serious. For me, it's still more of a hobby than anything. Like I work a 9 to 5 and got 2 kids, and and do the dad thing more than anything. But it's something I've always done. So like I said, since I was little, I've always been writing. I've always been rhyming. And then like when COVID hit, I kind of dove back into it pretty heavy, because I found myself with some more free time, which is rare for people nowadays. Um, and since then, I've dropped, I think, like 11 projects, a ton of singles, mad
Up.
features. So like I said, it's for me, it is still a hobby. I make a little bit of money on the side and all that, but it's just something I've always loved. I've been passionate about. It's like therapy to me.
So in high school, you formed up with this cat, Vinyl Villain,
Yeah.
and you said y'all formed. I guess y'all formed that band. Y'all was talking about north of Boston. But you decided to eventually go solo. Why was that?
Yeah, I mean, I did the band thing with the band. We were performing and doing shows and stuff for like 2 or 3 years strong, and not that it was getting stale, but everybody was just living their own lives, and it's just being in a group is difficult,
Yeah,
especially when people are working full time and got girlfriends or wives or whatever the case may be and other stuff they want to do. So um, it was dope. It was super fun. I think it helped me improve as an MC. Like I said, rhyming over live instruments in front of a crowd is way different than just rocking over a track.
definitely.
Getting turned on and just played. Um, and again, I've always been more, I guess, of an MC, and always was rhyming just over beats. But when I linked with these cats and we started doing that, it was super dope and a lot of fun. It just kind of ran its course, and then I kind of gravitated back towards just the mainly production hip hop type stuff, and dove in. And I said 2012, I dropped that first album, and kind of just went from there.
And so you had the solo album All for Nothing,
Mm-hmm.
produced by Vinyl Villain.
Yep.
Featured collaborations with artists such as Esoteric, Planetary of Army of the Pharaohs, The Creators, XL, and Alias. How were you able to get Esoteric and Planetary of Army of the Pharaohs featured on the album?
Uh, on just kind of hit them up, and
Okay,
it just said, told them the deal. I've been a fan forever, all that good stuff. I know Esoteric, obviously, he's from Boston too. Um, so like he was pretty chill about it. I mean, I feel like he's on a whole nother level now compared to what he was back then. But I mean, to me, he's one of the cats who grew up on. So like even then, like as a younger kid, then I looked up to those dudes as like the superstars. So like when I got him to jump on, it was dope. I mean, I remember I was working, and he came with his son at the time and brought me his files and stuff, and met caught up with me in person, and we laid shit down. Um, and
that's what's up.
it was cool. And it's the same thing with Planetary. I mean, he's an Army of the Pharaohs. So I said I got Esto on the album. I sent him this beat that I wanted him on. He dug it, so he got down on it too. So and it'd be a pretty cool project. Definitely the most, like I'd say like bigger, big time artists that I've had on projects like that, which was fun. Um, but Yeah, and then and SO in particular, he's just a super good dude in general. I really couldn't say enough about him just as a person.
Yeah, when you actually hit up a lot of these guys from like our era, '90s and stuff, I mean, you just realize they're just regular people. They're just more famous than most. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like I said, I remember, being young and going to the Middle East in Cambridge, which was like the biggest hip hop spot here for us, and seeing Acrobatic and Mr. Liff and SO and all those dudes and DJ Fax One, who I've also got to work with since then, which was super cool too. So to get to work with those cats that like I grew up kind of idolizing um, has been really dope.
So let's get into your process. Do you like write your lyrics on a paper? You like to write on a phone, or you like Jay-Z and Biggie writing ahead?
It's all pen and pad for me.
Okay.
Um, I'm on the road all day when I'm working, so I literally my pen and pads on my lap the whole time. Hours on end every day. That's where I always write. I got my beats playing, whatever it is I'm working on at the time. So I just write. I'll talk to text myself like ideas or like one or two lines if I think of a bar. If I'm not ready to write it down, just so I have it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I've always been a pen and pad guy. I look at writing the physical words and bars as like an art form, just like spitting them.
And then you had the sophomore effort, which you talked about in the light of darkness,
Yep.
dropped April 2014.
hmm
Um, dealing with reflected the personal struggles dealing during your father's battle with cancer. How hard was it for you to make that album?
Um, I don't know. I actually would say it probably wasn't hard. I think
Okay.
I think going through the experience of him and everything was difficult, but I feel like the actual writing process
Mm.
was super easy because I was so raw and angry and had so much emotion that like I was just itching to get it all out of me. Um, so I think the actual process of writing it and recording it was actually fairly easy. Um, I feel like the harder type of songs or projects to write are ones where like it's not super personal or like not very experience based. If I'm just doing bar work and just trying to talk some shit, like I feel like coming up with those ideas constantly is sometimes more difficult. But when you're writing about stuff that's true to you or stuff that's going on in your life and your reality, I feel like that's actually kind of the easiest and honestly the most important music you can make as an artist.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. And so the song I reviewed a couple weeks ago was "Hands in the Loops."
Yep.
Explain that song.
That song's just
Like, where that title come from?
well, the title came from the specific line in the joint. I wasn't sure what I was going to name the song, and Hilltop actually was the one who said we should name it "Hands in the Loops" because the line it's like
Okay.
started spitting same time I was tying shoes, proof I always seem to have my hands in the loops. Um, and he just thought that was such a dope line. I said, yeah, let's go with that. That works for me. So that's kind of how the name came about.
And then y'all basically made the cover based around that because I
Mm-hmm.
noticed the cover you had the big loop and then the hand was in the loop, but I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, it was basically the play on like, I started spitting the same time I was learning how to tie my shoes, and proof I always seem to have my hands in the loops, as in loops in the sneakers, but loops in the music type of thing. So it's kind of
Okay.
like one of them double entendres. Um, so that's where that came from. But yeah, that joint's just super chill, just a dope, feel good kind of hip hop joint. I really love that song.
So, what do you typically look for inspiration, like for your lyrics and your music?
Again, kind of like with the in light of darkness thing, like it's it's great when you kind of can pull it from real experiences. Um, and again, that's not always easy to do. I mean, you know, there's not living a day to day. It's not all that much different, exciting, or dramatic, or bad or good stuff happening. You're doing the day in and day out type of thing. So, I try to pull from, from specific, experiences, like, talking about my kids. Like, I have a joint called Our Father, produced by Fax One. Like I said, that's about them. I got a song on this new project about, over drinking, about family drama. So, as I said, I try to, again, pull from real life experiences and stuff I feel strongly about. There's a joint on there talking about, just like prescription abuse, and like, and how bad that is in the healthcare system, and how kind of up and upside down that is. So, I try to do some of that. And then again, I try to just kind of do, crazy bar work, and just come with the metaphors and the clever, fun shit too.
So, like, how do you typically handle like criticism or any negative feedback you might get?
I mean, I don't get a
You
ton,
probably don't get a. You probably don't get a
which
lot.
is which is good. I mean, I'm sure it's out there that's just not being said to me directly, which is fine. But obviously everybody's not going to be a fan of me. Um, but I mean, if and when, just roll that shit off. I mean, there's a million MCs out there. There's a million producers out there. Like, I don't expect everybody to enjoy my music or my vibe, or what I'm talking about or what I'm not talking about. Nowadays, like, it's all like coke rap shit that everybody's into. That's like the big thing. And that's not me. I don't get down like that. I'm gonna talk some just honest shit that I can tell you about. That's me and that's my life, and then I can just get crazy and clever, and you know and rock some fun bars. But I dropped the joint not too long ago called Marathon Man. I don't know if you heard that, but like, that joint specifically was about the day of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Okay.
And it actually happened to be the same day my father woke up from a coma,
Damn.
before we found out he actually had stage 4 lung cancer. And it's all about, like, the pull and the push and pull of how happy I was, like, that he was alive, and then how crazy and chaotic the shit was going on in the city. So, like, and I had a lot of people hitting me up, and I thought that song was going to kind of not fall flat, but because it's so personal, I didn't know how much it would resonate with people.
Mhm.
And I had so many heads hit me up and be like, that song was amazing. So probably a longer answer than you needed for that, but like I said, everybody's not for everybody. So like I said, I appreciate anybody that takes the time to listen to my music and show love, and if they don't, it's not bothering me none.
So, as an artist, what do you feel like is more important to you, lyrics or flow?
I mean, I'd say it's both.
Both.
It's probably a cop out, but um, I mean, I think you gotta have. I think you have to be able to flow properly. I don't think you want
Okay.
to come off stumbling and bumbling. But again, even if you have a nice flow, but you're not saying shit, and again, this is coming from like an MC
Mhm.
and an artist, like, people who appreciate hip hop and appreciate lyricism and actually listen and digest what the MC is saying. You gotta have content. There's got to be, meat on the bone. Like I said, you can flow nice, but if you're just not saying shit that's worth listening to, I don't know what the point of listening to it is. And again, that's what 98% of the music on the radio is bullshit with like a funky flow and the same repetitive ass beat that everybody rhymes over. So I mean, kudos to them. I mean, I'm probably doing the wrong thing by making the music I make, but like, for me, I think you got to be able to flow, but I think you got to be able to, you know, talk some shit and have something to say.
I think when you make underground music, you just need to like understand the expectations. Don't expect like mainstream expectations. We only got like a couple cats that really got, I guess, what you could say is a underground kind of flow in the mainstream, and that's really just Kendrick and Cole, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it still goes to show you that the guys with the better content and overall better quality music still reigns supreme. It's just underneath them, everybody else is just like they all sound the same. All the beats are the same, the flows are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Too much auto tune.
Yep.
Just too much
Yeah.
repetition. Too
I,
much
I,
repetition.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, come across. I'm on the race. I'm on the road all day. I'm seeing different accounts and stuff for my day job, and everybody knows I rap and all that. And they're like, "Oh, did you hear the new so and so?" And I'm like, I'm saying to myself, I go, I don't even know who the fuck that is, and I can guarantee that it's the same old terrible crap that everybody's putting out. It's just like I said, and I shouldn't talk because those are the dudes, making the money and doing that thing. So it's just, I feel like it's just sad. That's how terrible and stupid society is, that this is the type of stuff that they eat up, as opposed to, MCs like me, or, a whole thousands of other artists out here that are actually putting out real good quality music that, just get overlooked. But so that's the way of the world, unfortunately.
Well, part of it is, you know how it works. If you play a song over and over again enough times, it can grow on you. And
Mm-hmm.
labels just got to the point where they only started taking a chance on one type of artist with one type of sound. Really,
Mm-hmm.
they got to a point they only wanted to sign established artists. But you got, like, for example, a cat like Nims,
Mm-hmm.
who I feel like's an established artist.
Yep.
He's probably not on a major label, probably don't need a major label, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not willing to take a chance on a cat like Nims because the sound just doesn't fit the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah. It's too street. It's too authentic hip hop for them to
Yeah.
put that out to the mainstream. It's just, unfortunately, the majority of people want something they can just turn on and bop their heads to, or go stand in a club to, and just listen and not really take it in.
I think the problem is the majority of music listeners are followers. They only listen to what's popular, what everybody else says is cool. They're not willing to, go digging in the crates anymore. And it's
Mm-hmm.
almost too hard to dig into the crates because it's just too much music. It's so oversaturated. You could be digging for decades.
No, I mean, and that's true too. I mean, and I feel like that's the pro and con of streaming, and the way of the world now is, without the streaming, I wouldn't get my music out to as many people as I do. But on the con side, everybody else is doing the same thing. So it's like, how often you hear a record, and you listen to it probably more than once, twice, three times or something, and then you kind of move on to something else, because there's just so much stuff. It's there's almost too much quantity. And but honestly, a lot of it, I think, too, is quality, but a lot of it is just getting overlooked, because how much time do you got in the day to listen to different MCs, or find new projects? So like I said, whenever somebody takes 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to listen to a song or a project of mine, I mean, is that I do truly appreciate it, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there. So
Well, there's just as much bad quality music as there is quantity of music, and that's the problem. And,
mm-hmm,
and a cat like you, I think you benefit more for like a band camp kind of structure,
mm-hmm,
like because you don't even really want to throw your music in that pool of devalued music, as I call it, because they set the price of what your
mm-hmm.
music is, and I just think underground artists, they seem to have more of a die-hard core fan base
Yep.
that's willing to buy the hat, the t-shirt, the
Mm-hmm.
autograph CD, pay for a meet and greet and all that stuff,
Yep.
opposed to a lot of these mainstream artists. You don't even see a lot of these mainstream artists selling merch at the shows.
No, I mean, they probably don't have to. I mean, because they probably do actually profit from streaming, unlike most of us. And then they're getting paid, and depending on how big they are, they got endorsements and all this other stuff. So yeah, like you said, for somebody like me, like I always push people to Bandcamp. Like I said, I'm not paying my bills with music, so I don't rely on it. Um, if people decide to buy a project or buy merch, I had some super dope merch for my last album actually that sold out twice, which was really cool. Yo, OJ, peace. Hilltop, what up? Heads rolling through. Um,
And
but
exclusivity is always good for an artist like you. It really
Yeah, like I
is.
said, I always keep things pretty limited too. Like I'll do like limited runs. Like I did limited runs on that merch for the last album, and it's just something to get people engaged a little more and give them a little more incentive to listen to the project, to buy the project. And like I said, it's peanuts in the grand scheme of things, but it's for me again, it's always been a hobby, and it's a fun way just to engage with people and keep people listening and paying attention.
So what you 40, right?
I'm about to be 40. Yeah.
About to be 40 because I'm 46. So when I interviewed Lord Digger last night, we talked about this a little bit, but what do you think about this whole rappers should stop rapping at age 35?
I guess I should be retired then. I mean, I don't know, and that I know that's been a big topic of conversation. I think the past couple of years, and I think the biggest gripe people have had is like, well, look at all the rock guys. Look at Aerosmiths of the world and whatever whoever else.
Yeah.
I know. I just saw. I think Eric Clapton's coming to Boston pretty soon. I mean, there's no ageism when it comes to that genre
We
of music.
always say that. Yeah, we always say that.
It's like nobody questions that. Nobody was talking about Frank Sinatra singing when he was whatever 70 years old or whatever. So why it falls on hip hop and artists? I don't know if people think like just the look of it because it's got I don't know, you got the style and all everything, and you look old doing that with your hat on backwards, and I don't know. Like I said, I think it's crazy, but it's definitely a topic, and I've heard people talking about it. I'm against it, obviously. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm 5 years past my due date apparently, or I should have hung it up. But
Do you
uh,
think it has something to do with the disconnect? Because think about like a cat like LL. Nobody was saying, "Hey, LL, hang it up," when he was dropping Mr. Smith, and he was clearly over 35.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody was saying, "Yo, you're too old. Quit. Stop rapping." This like just became a thing of this new generation where they trying to tell anybody that's 35 and up, to 35 and up to stop rapping. Look at the cat like Killer Mike and LP, Run the Jewels. I mean, they're clearly over 40 something years old, and
right,
they winning Grammys. Or
yeah. No, I mean I agree. Again, it's again with the music industry and the way it is. Sometimes people don't break out till I feel like they're mid 30s or maybe 40. I mean, I
every
think
now and then, but I think for the most part, most people do make it very, very young.
I think yeah, the ones that really have set it off, yes, no, I agree with that. Um, but I feel like there's cats that maybe don't go big time, but get to that point where like they grow their fan base, slowly and gradually and organically over the
Yeah.
span of, you know, 18 to 30 or something, 10, 12 years, something like that. And then like in their mid 30s that they kind of find their sweet spot, and they're starting to really kind of make some moves and still kind of build. So I don't know. And again, for me personally, it's just my hobby. Like I said, people can listen. They don't have to listen. It don't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Young people just got to shut the fuck up sometimes. They're so goddamn opinionated. Like, that's the other
And
thing.
emotional, and they so emotional.
Yeah, like everybody's crying about this and complaining about that. And it's just like,
Yeah.
if you don't like the 36-year-old that's rapping, then just don't listen to him.
Yeah, what you mad about it for? Like, no, they mad because LL had a really good album last year. He had a good run last year.
Yeah.
Common and Pete Rock had like the '90s cats came in last year and pretty much
Mm-hmm.
damn near took it over, man. When you talking
Yeah.
about best albums of last year.
Yep. No, and it's great to see. And like I said, and again, for older guys like us. I mean, those, late 30s and into their 40s that grew up on kind of, the 90s and early 2000s, some of the little 80s hip hop. I mean, I love to see it. And I'm still kind of stuck in that. Like, most of the new stuff that comes out nowadays, I don't listen to, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessarily that I don't or won't like it, but I'm so busy always constantly working on my own music. It's not super often I take time out to listen to other shit. But I've always still just been stuck in that kind of 90s, early 2000s, a little bit further, but that was just kind of a sweet spot. That's what I grew up on. So, not to say everything that comes out nowadays is bad, because it's not. But instead, I've just always been in that headspace, and I kind of never got out of it.
Who is an artist that you like that's out nowadays though, like the newer artist? Nobody you could think of?
I mean,
Griselda maybe, or
uh, don't listen.
you don't listen to Griselda?
Wouldn't know it if I heard it. Nope.
Talking about Benny the Butcher and them. Griselda.
Nope.
You
Never
ain't familiar
listened.
with Benny the Butcher?
Oh no, I am. But if you
Oh.
turned on a joint, I wouldn't know it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not bullshitting.
Wow.
Just I've been since I came back to music in 2020. I've been so in the zone and working on my own stuff.
Yeah.
And the only stuff I stopped to kind of listen to are like cats that I know personally, that I kind of want to spend my time. I don't need to go listen to these dudes and support them, because not that, again, the music's probably dope, but I only have so much time to listen to music that I'm not working on. I'd rather go listen to dudes like the homie G Fan Black, who's from Boston. He's super dope. I'll listen to his projects. Sankofa, who was on my last album, he's awesome. I'll listen to his projects. So like I said, with the limited time I have to listen to music, it's usually kind of this small circle of people that I've kind of, gotten to know and I collaborate with personally. And that's kind of what I spend the time listening to, like I said, and it's minimal because I'm so busy working on my own stuff. And
you see that comment? He said he asked him to listen to Kendrick multiple times. You never listened to Kendrick?
He sent me a Kendrick album way back, and I did listen to it. Was that To Pimp a Butterfly?
Okay, that was a better album to listen to. This last album was terrible. So if you was to go listen to that, you would definitely be disappointed. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So that's probably the last and only Kendrick album I listened to, and he did specifically send it to me, and I did listen to it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no, like a lot of stuff that's out.
Yeah.
I just don't have.
I get it. Now you focused on you, man. You focused on you right now, man.
That's really what it boils down to. Is I'm so busy. I'm working on 2 albums at once. This new album is done and about to come out, and then I got a new project with my homie Onaje, who I think is in or was in. And Hilltop's actually mixing and mastering that project for me. In the meantime, I'm already working on a new album with Hilltop, with another one set up after that. So like I don't stop. So like when I'm in the car and I got music on, it's usually beats from the homies, and I'm writing.
So if you could go back in time and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a good question. I didn't expect that. That's something I'd actually like to think about. I don't know. I would say probably don't F off in school as much as I did. I mean,
okay,
which is kind of probably a lame answer, but I don't know. I F'd off through school. I do okay for myself now, but I break my ass every day, and I wish I didn't have to as hard as I do. So I guess that'd be one thing. I don't know. That's a deeper question than I anticipated, so I might have to hit you back and and give you a better answer. But
Yeah, I actually started using ChatGPT to try to pull up some questions, and they started
oh,
hitting me with
okay.
some nice questions here. So I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, let
it's
me throw
it
this
is a
one in there.
great
I like that.
question.
Yeah.
I didn't have a good enough answer. I feel like to suffice for that question, but I'm gonna ponder that a little bit.
All right. So, is there like a dream producer that you want to work with?
Uh, I would say one producer I think I definitely would like to work with, outside of like people that are in my actual circles
Circle.
and such, is Exile. Um, like I said, one album that I've listened to, and again, it was kind of years back, was Below the Heavens from Blue and Exile.
Oh yeah, that yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
uh,
album was actually really huge at that time. That's one of
yeah.
the all-time hip hop albums. They said.
I feel like that was one of the best albums probably I've ever heard. Like when people ask me to like list my top 5 or 10, like I usually maybe in the top 10. That's kind of ends up falling in there. So for like newer school hip hop that's come out, and even now that's kind of getting old, but I love that album, and I definitely think Exile's super dope. So he's a name I'd throw in that hat.
I gotta go back and listen to that because we did a show where we were doing like the top albums in hip hop, and
Mm-hmm.
that album actually came up, and I wasn't so familiar with everything on there. Where I was like, I need to go back and listen to this one. Definitely, I bet I'm missing something that's truly, truly great. Where I'm gonna probably say it's up there with like some of the best, probably.
I say it's I don't I would never put probably any album in this on the same pedestal as Moment of Truth, but I feel it's very much like one of those projects you can put on and just let it ride front to back, and you're never gonna have to skip a joint. Like there's nothing iffy on that whole project. It's a very strong album. Like I said, I very difficult to put it on the same level as something like that. But
Yeah.
in Exile is just a very dope producer. So like I said, it's in that vein. Like I said, it's not on the
So
same level, but it's
is that your top album of all time, Gangstar Moment of Truth? That's my favorite Gangstar album, Moment of Truth.
definitely my favorite Gangstar album. Um, Again, it's definitely in my top 5.
I
My
think it's in my top 5 too.
Yeah, it's definitely my top 5. One Violent by Design by Jedi Mind Tricks is in my top 5.
Okay.
And what could be my number 1, and it always, I think about it all the time, because that's a question I get a lot, is Enters the Colossus by Mr. Lift. Um, I don't
I
know if
didn't
you've
see that
heard.
coming. I didn't see that coming now.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that album or not, but
I don't think I have.
A Kid from Boston, that came out in 2000. So yeah, I was 15. That was like when I was like this, like the scene, like the Boston scene was like what I wanted to be a part of, and like and be an artist and like and represent Boston. And that album is filthy. I absolutely love that project. So if I gave you a little homework, I would say peep that project.
I'm gonna check that out. Like for me, man, I think the dopest hip hop album of all time is Mobb Deep Infamous.
That's a very good choice.
I just think it's completely flawless in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with that. I'm a huge Mobb Deep fan. Um, Always have been. Miss Prodigy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I would agree. Always love Mobb Deep. One of my favorite joints of all time is was on Capital Punishment with Pun, Prodigy, and Deck.
Yeah. That was a
Uh,
dope one. Yeah, that
yeah,
was a
I
dope
forget the
one.
name of the joint, but yeah, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Yeah, so no, Mobb Deep,
And
definitely.
Yeah, Dex my favorite Wu member. So what does hip hop mean to you personally?
Personally, it's just kind of always been my my therapy, my kind of escape, just to write and be able to process stuff and get it out on paper, and then and put it on a project, and let other people listen to it, which is tough to do. especially when you know talk about personal stuff too. Um, but yeah, for me, it's just always kind of been there. Talking about it like it's an actual thing or like a person, but it's just always been a part of me since I was young. Whether it was listening to music when I was younger, um, and then stumbling across beats. I remember downloading beats off Napster back in the day and rapping in my compact Presario little microphone on a computer and making these goofy little raps back in the day. It's just always meant a lot to me, and it kind of been where I can be me and just let it all out and express myself, and like I said, let it kind of be a therapy. It's a special thing, and like I said, people who don't partake in it, like as an artist or a producer or whatever, and really dive into it, they probably don't quite get the feeling. But it's pretty dope when you can put out a project or anything and have people listen to it and it resonate with them and them respond in a positive way. It's a pretty crazy feeling.
So I got one more question. This is kind of a crazy question, but I only
Okay.
asked the hip hop heads this.
Okay.
And so this is a question I got. There's a group that they mentor J. Cole. They're from Fayetteville, North Carolina, also known as Fayettenam.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, if aliens came down to Earth and you
Mm-hmm.
had to play one song to basically explain or tell the story of hip hop, what song would you play for the aliens?
Oh shit, that's another tough question. Was that Chat GBT?
Nah, that was actually a question that was in an interview. And I
Okay.
was like, I think I'm gonna keep this. This is a dope hip hop question.
Uh oh man. That's that's a tough question.
Like somebody, okay, I'm gonna just give you a couple examples of what I've heard. I've heard Biggie,
Yeah.
Juicy.
Okay. Yeah.
I've heard Tupac, Old School,
Okay.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message.
Got it.
I think I would personally go with the Tupac, Old School.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Juicy from Biggie did come to mind. Um, I mean, I would say like maybe Illmatic, um, like New York State of Mind, maybe.
Okay.
Um, it's a tough thing just to pick one joint. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I throw that. I guess I would pick that. That's another one. Should have sent me these questions beforehand. I would have been better prepared.
So I know you got this single. I'm about to review it tomorrow. Watch Me Shine featuring
Oh, dope. Yeah, Money
Money
Mowgli.
Mogley and DJ Deceptor. What can you tell me about this song before I review it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a dope joint. It's got a little more, pep than little less that laid back vibe. It's a little more straightforward, like hip hop. We got DJ Decepta on the cuts. But Money Mowgli, he's super dope. He's an artist that I would definitely tell people to peep. He's from Florida,
Okay.
and I stumbled across him through my friend Sankofa, and he's really really dope. So he laces it. I body is 16. We got the Decepta on the cuts. He kills it like he always does. It's a dope joint. I definitely think you'll enjoy it.
So you think more likely we're gonna get a yay on that one tomorrow?
Oh, it's definitely a yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, most people be sending me these okays, man.
Yeah, I always
Sometimes I get
always
mad
like
with
it.
them reviews, man. Like, yo, man, I got 5-6 straight okays, man. What's some yays at?
Yeah, I see how discouraged you get sometimes when I'm watching the show, and I mean it's tough too because with you doing all different genres, which I do
Genres,
think is,
yeah.
I think it's super dope that you do that. I don't know if I've seen another, podcaster streamer do that.
Yeah.
So it's dope you do you just take whatever you get and just roll with it. But yeah, I mean I can tell usually, 5, 10, 20 seconds in when it's going to be a yay or a nay. Yeah, I've heard some questionable stuff, but yeah, that Watch Me Shine joint, Definitely dope. Definitely a yay. Song of the day. I don't know. Well, that's TBD, but
We definitely
you'll,
go see.
you'll like
Yeah,
it.
I've been dealing with musicians for a while now. I've been promoting music for 15 years. I had on demand radio station called Indie Castle back in the days.
Oh
Had
wow.
a Urban Obsessions radio show. Did the hip hop channel for Unheard Radio. I also own a music promo company called Promo Palace.
Okay.
So I've been dealing with so many musicians for so many years, man. I done heard it all,
Hmm.
seen it all, and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like a lot of these musicians, I don't think a lot of them got like real friends in a life. You know what I'm saying? Like really giving them criticism and whatnot. Because some of these submissions, this is like, wow, like yo, some of it's so terrible. It's like you could tell like they don't got no real friend. Like yo, dog, that shit ain't really hitting
Yeah,
me.
you can't be putting that out to the public.
Yeah, and I think musicians like sometimes they can just like be a little egotistical and everything they put out they think is a hit, man. But there's a difference between just hit records and just good songs, man.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, I've never put out a hit record, but I definitely put out a lot of dope projects and dope songs. So um, it's
Yeah, I was going through the face. I was posting the story post. That's typically how I like to get a lot of promotion out of it. And
mhm.
I noticed while I was just going through the catalog of songs, I mean, there was just a song after song after song, and just every beat was different and just different vibe. And
Mhm.
definitely got a nice catalog over there, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. I try to be, versatile. I like to, be able to do the gritty, Vinny Paz, sort of stuff. But I do a joint like Marathon Man that I said that came out not too long ago. That's, just super emotional and heartfelt. So I like to be able to, have a range and do a little bit of everything and test myself and not just be kind of a one trick pony and just recycling the same sort of stuff all the time. So, which I think people will hear on this new album. It's super well rounded. You get a little bit of everything on it. So I think it'll go well.
All right, before I let you go, any shout outs you want to do?
Uh, yeah, I'd say Hilltop Productions, the homie. We got Sidewalks, the Hilltops, our new album coming out soon. And then in the meantime, me and Onaje Jordan, who we've done a project a couple years back. We got another project coming up. Um, And yeah, that's it. My homie Tali Rodriguez, who Back to the Pulpit, we dropped earlier this year. That was our second project together, but we've done a bunch of stuff over the past 4 or 5 years. So, those are the homies. Like I said, I don't have many close, friends or acquaintances or a big circle. It's pretty small. But, the cats I work with are all super dope, super talented, and good people. And that's really all I look for. So, I appreciate all you guys.
I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do the interview. When I get off here, I'll definitely make sure I clip up the clips and whatnot. I got the AI on my StreamYard to put up a bunch of clips, and
So,
the audio version will go to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much much more. So make sure if y'all want to hear the audio version, go there. Video version, of course, is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, and it goes to BitShoot. Even though I get nothing but hate on BitShoot, I like it doesn't matter though. Like haters are part of the process. Like if you don't got haters,
uh-huh.
you ain't doing nothing right.
That's true. No, you gotta have them. They're
Yeah.
vital. You gotta have them.
You just can't let them get under your skin. Just let them be there. Let them hate, do what they want. Just don't let them get under
Sure.
your skin, because then
Yeah,
they win.
right. That's right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your night, man. And I'm most definitely keep in touch. We're gonna be reviewing the music tomorrow, and I'm probably going on about somewhere between 5 and 7. You'll get the email.
All right, no doubt.
All right, man. Take it easy.
I appreciate you, Paul.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, there you have it. Another interview in the books. JFliz, straight out of Boston. Definitely go check out his catalog. That's JFliz. And we're gonna be reviewing tomorrow. Watch Me Shine featuring Money, Mowgli, and DJ Deceptor. I think we reviewed a few tracks already. We've reviewed Back to the Pulpit and Hell's Kitchen, Triple Sixes. So definitely go check out all those as well. Go check out the interview I did yesterday with Lord Digger. And I got some interviews coming up as well still. Let's see who we still got on the schedule. We got Rex and Artisan, which they're out of the Massachusetts, Boston area as well. I think more of Lawrence, Massachusetts for Rex, if I'm not mistaken. We still got Hoffa Killer Army. We still got Michael Myers out of the West Coast. If y'all don't know about him, go check him out. He had an album called It's Long Time Coming. We still got Pretty P, who actually got Song of the Day with Jay the day we reviewed the JFliz track. And we still got Swayzak of the Goats. And we still have some more interviews in the works as well. We got to follow up with a few people and see if they can lock in a date with us as well. And I just hit a few people up today, waiting on them to reply. And also, don't forget Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast. Go check that out. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Paul Pickett Podcast. I just got 3 new bare knuckle fight interviews as well. That was with Stephen Tomahawk Townsend, Francesco Ricci, and Roberto Armas, who will be fighting at Hollywood, Florida, Seminole Hard Rock Cafe. I think it's July 12th. Hilltop, appreciate you tuning in. About to call it a night. We're about to get off here, and we're about to clip up some clips and put out some clips for this interview. And don't forget, live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Fridays. If we go live on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I'm actually probably going to move that to 7 p.m. Eastern time. And music reviews will probably be anywhere from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Really no set time on that. So make sure y'all tune in for that as well. All right, we're about to hit y'all with the outro. Peace, and I'm out.